Welcome to our presentation. We are here to talk about the proposed improvements at US Route 127 and State Route 119. I'm Amy Havener, the ODOT project manager for this project. In a moment, I'll turn over the presentation to our design consultant. They will discuss the conditions that led to this project, options considered and dismissed, and the benefits of our current preferred alternative. But first, I want to talk briefly about how important you are to our process. ODOT has learned the hard way that public input makes for better projects. The people that use our system every day are alert to details that we may have overlooked, or they have suggestions for how to improve our system that we haven't considered. ODOT incorporates public input into its decision making. We will not make a final decision on this project until we've taken another hard look at our project based on the public comments received and modified our alternatives as necessary based on that input. We very much hope you will take the time to reach out to us with your comments, questions, and suggestions. We also hope that you understand that ODOT is under certain constraints. We have to operate consistent with the law. We have to operate consistent with sound engineering and design standards. We have to stay within the scope of the project, addressing safety concerns while maintaining acceptable operations at the intersection of US 127 and State Route 119, and we need to stay within our budget, both in terms of dollars and time. Suggestions from the public that do not fit these constraints probably can't be implemented, but if you don't ask, you'll never know. So give us your feedback. I'll be back at the end of the presentation to offer more details on how to provide feedback. In the meantime, I'll turn this presentation over to Jay with our design consultant.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Jay Hamilton. I am part of the project design team at Mead & Hunt. I will be taking you through the project specifics, starting with the need for the project and safety improvement history. I will briefly discuss the alternatives that were evaluated for the project and how the recommended preferred alternative was selected. To wrap up, we'll also lay out the estimated project schedule. The project is to reduce the total number of crashes, especially the high percentage of injury crashes. The intersection ranked number 1 on the Mercer County Safety Plan in 2020. There were 38 crashes recorded between 2012 and 2022, with 3 fatalities and 47% of them resulting in injury. As we often see with high injury rates, angle and left turn crashes accounted for 45% of the total crashes. During the day, there are times when the traffic on State Route 119 must wait more than a minute to access US 127. The slight skew on State Route 119 can cause blind spots when looking for vehicles on US 127 due to the corner post along the side of the car windows. The purpose of the project is to improve safety by reducing crashes, especially injuries. Also, reduce congestion for State Route 119 traffic. There have been several attempts to improve the safety of the intersection over the years. Dual stop signs and cross traffic does not stop signs were added on State Route 119. Dual stop ahead signs were added on State Route 119, and dual intersection ahead warning signs were added on US 127. A safety study was completed in November of 2022, and a feasibility study was prepared for the intersection in December of 2024. These studies considered 5 additional alternatives. First is the no build or do nothing alternative. As its name indicates, this option leaves the intersection at its current condition with no improvements. This alternative was eliminated as it does not meet the project need to reduce the total number of crashes, particularly fatal and injury crashes. It also was found that the intersection will not meet operational standards as traffic volumes continue to grow. The second alternative proposed an always stop controlled intersection. An always stop will eliminate the line of sight issue associated with the skew angle on State Route 119, provided all approaching traffic obeys the always stop. However, a compliance survey noted that 7 to 9% of traffic on State Route 119 is currently not complying. It is likely some traffic on US Route 127 will behave similarly and potentially with more frequency An always stop on US Route 127 at this location is likely to defy driver expectations. Additionally, this alternative would increase the overall delay at this intersection, including delays of 50 seconds or more for traffic on US 127, which is not acceptable. The third alternative proposed was adding left turn lanes on the US 127 approaches. This alternative will remove left turning vehicles from the through travel lanes on US Route 127. Eliminating the turning movement conflict, which has been identified as a contributing factor in crashes. This alternative will not address concerns on State Route 119 or address the skew angle that is likely causing some of the approaching traffic on US Route 127 to be obscured by the passenger side crossbar in vehicles on State Route 119. The safety study also considered installing a traffic signal at the intersection. However, for a traffic signal to be eligible for funding, the intersection must meet certain criteria or warrants, most of which are associated with traffic volumes. When those warrants were evaluated for the intersection, this location did not meet the requirements for a traffic signal. Furthermore, studies have also shown that installing a new traffic signal at a previously unsignalized intersection can often increase certain types of crashes, such as rear-end crashes. For those reasons, this alternative was dismissed. The safety study also considered LED signs and rumble strips. As noted previously, ODOT has already implemented signage and lighting upgrades with minimal reduction in crashes. Based on our experience, additional improvements of this type will have little impact on reducing crashes. The last alternative considered by ODOT is a roundabout. The preliminary layout is depicted in the image. Under this alternative, the project will require some new right-of-way, which is demonstrated by the purple line in the image. Roundabouts simplify the driving experience for motorists. A roundabout reduces the number of conflict points from 32 to 8 as shown in the image. Drivers need only look left for oncoming traffic, eliminating the concern of right-side traffic being obscured by the corner post. The proposed roundabout is expected to reduce crashes by over 79%, with an expected reduction of approximately 3 fewer crashes per year. Additionally, by reducing speeds through the intersection and preventing high-angle crashes, a roundabout is expected to almost eliminate injury crashes, particularly crashes that will lead to death or serious injury. The reduced speeds of the roundabout also make it easier for drivers to judge gaps in traffic, especially the younger and older drivers, to allow entry into the roundabout. Roundabouts also will improve the operational performance at the intersection. During peak hours, drivers on all approaches are expected to experience delays of less than 12 seconds, as shown on the last row of the table. For all other options, there are one or more approaches where the average delay per vehicle will be over 1 minute. By reducing congestion, roundabouts are also good for the environment, reducing emissions, since most vehicles will not need to come to a complete stop. There are a few simple steps to safely driving through a roundabout. Slow down. Look to the left and yield to vehicles already inside the roundabout. Once in the roundabout, you have the right-of-way. Keep moving. Exit the roundabout at your desired location. I want to mention that we have posted an informational video on the project website that will give you a visualization on how to navigate a roundabout. We will be sharing the link to the project page at the end of the presentation. A concern often heard in rural areas and those less familiar with roundabouts pertains to farm equipment and other larger vehicles navigating the roundabout. We take great care in designing the roundabout to accommodate the needs of the area. We utilize rolled curb that is able to be traversed by larger vehicles, concrete aprons, and reinforced outside shoulder widths, often referred to as blister islands, to handle the larger turning paths. While these features appear to be outside of the travel lane, they are intended to be used by large vehicles. Through traffic on US 127 will be maintained for the majority of construction, but closures are expected. Additionally, movements to and from State Route 119 will be unavailable at specified times. Some work will be completed on the north, south, and east leg without a detour. The east leg closure will occur first, and the detour will use State Route 716, 274, and US 127 shown in green on the map. The closure will last approximately 30 days. Next, the West Lake will be closed, and the detour will use State Route 118, State Route 705, and US 127 shown in red on the map. The closure will last approximately 15 days. Lastly, the entire intersection will be closed. The detour for State Route 119 will utilize State Route 118, State Route 705, and State Route 716, as shown in the yellow on the map. The detour for US 127 will utilize 705, State Route 716, and State Route 274, as shown in blue on the map. The closure will last approximately 15 days. ODOT will take comments through September 30th, 2025. That concludes my portion of the presentation. And with that, I will turn the presentation back over to Amy.
To provide comments via ODOT's webpage, you can scan the QR code to the right. You can also go to www.transportation.ohio.gov/projects. In the Search by Project ID box, enter PID 120177 and click Submit. Then on the project page, select the Leave a Comment button. And finally, you can call or email myself or Tricia Bishop, the District Environmental Coordinator. Comments are requested by September 30th to ensure your comments are considered in the decision-making process. We really hope to hear from you. Our projects are better with your input. We will issue a follow-up announcement of our final decision regarding a preferred alternative after we have had an opportunity to consider comments received. If you were on a previous mailing, or if you provided your mail or email address with your comments, you will be included on that announcement. You can also check back on the ODOT project page. Please understand that our final decision may take several months, as additional research or study may be needed based on comments received. We want to make the best possible decision. Thank you for your time and interest in this important project.